Hi, Dr. Kathy. All right, we're back to talk about romantic self-efficacy scale, ROSES for short. Okay, this is by Shauna Springer. She published this in her thesis in 2002. Amazing questions, and I'm going to read to you her directions. Okay, this is not a test. There are no right or wrong answers. Rather, it is an inventory that attempts to measure how you feel you will behave in future romantic interactions. Please respond to the items as honestly as you can so as to most accurately portray how you think you will behave in these situations. Do not respond with how you wish you could perform each item. Rather, answer in a way that reflects your actual estimate of how you'll behave in the future. Okay? So she wants you not to think about how you would like to respond how you would actually respond to these questions. In bold, she says, if you are currently in a romantic relationship, consider how you will behave in that relationship in the near future. If you are not currently in a romantic relationship, evaluate how you'll behave in your next romantic relationship in the near future. To what degree do you expect to do the following in your future romantic interactions? So, this is where the scale comes in. It's a 1 to 6 rating scale. And the number one is I definitely do not expect to do this in my future interactions. The extreme other end, number 6, is I definitely expect this to characterize my behavior in future interactions. So on this scale, on this side, the 1, you do not expect to do this in your future interactions. I don't expect to do it, right? On number 6, you actually expect to do it in your future interactions. So I like how she categorizes each of these sections. So the first section, I'm going to just tell you the different categories, is about self-expression and self-disclosure. Okay, this is a biggie because we think we are good at expressing ourselves, and we really are not that great. And I can tell you that that's from a personal opinion or perspective also, because I used to think that I really was very good at expressing what I felt. But I think I realize that I'm not the best because I assume that people understand what I'm saying. And I think a lot of people do that, forgetting that, this is my perspective, not their perspective. So sometimes you have to ask, did you understand what I said? Do you want me to repeat what I said? Do you have any questions about what I said? So that they can now give you back what they think you were trying to say. And then you can correct it if it's not correct. But self expression, self disclosure, she has a great 10 questions, I think. She's got, yeah, 10 questions on this part, and I love it. On the next section, she has withdrawal, disengagement, questions about how you withdraw, and questions about how you disengage. On the next section, she has perspective taking, understanding. So, perspective taking, taking perspective, and understanding. How well do you do that? So, these are, again, areas of communication that are very key. On another category, she has acting defensive. Do you act defensive? Criticizing your partner, and then avoiding conflict. How do you avoid conflict? Escalating conflict. Do you escalate conflict? And de-escalating, repairing conflict. Okay, so I love the categories. So she has them in categories where you're going to sort of figure out what your range is. 1, don't expect to do it again in the future with my relationship. And 2, I do expect to do this again in my future interactions or my future relationship. All right. So number 1, self-expression, self-disclosure. I mentioned this yesterday. Communicating why I am hurt in a way that my partner will be able to understand what I'm feeling. Are you able to communicate when you're hurt so that your partner can understand that you're hurt and understand how you're feeling. So this is under self-expression and self-disclosure. Can you explain how you feel? And the rating answer is between 1 and 6. 1, I definitely do not expect to do this in my future interactions, which means I am not very good at interacting and explaining my hurt feelings to my partner so that he can understand, or he or she can understand. Or the answer to the range 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is I am definitely able to express your feelings to your partner for them to understand your feelings. So that is an awesome question. Communicating why I'm hurt in a way that my partner will be able to understand what I'm feeling is something that you know that you're either able to very clearly explain to your partner what is going on inside, or you shut down, right? A lot of people shut down. They just don't think it's important to go into details about issues that they have in the relationship. That is poor communication. When you are not able to give your partner the reasons why you're feeling the way you're feeling and express to the partner for them to understand the depth of your feeling, your partner is just going to just take it that you're fine. That's the problem. They're not going to have a clue that you're not fine. But in our head, we think, oh, he understands. He knows. He's not that, you know, non-understanding to my feelings. And like they always tell us, they are not mind readers. They can't, know what we're thinking unless we explain it to them. And we've all been there, and it's all been, a situation where we just do not want to bother. We could be too busy, but I really think it's more of we expect them to understand. And clearly we're wrong. So this self-expression, communicating how you're hurt, are you a 1 where you don't do it, or 6 where you do it all the time, or you really, really do very well in it? So in between is the 1 to 6, and you can choose those ranges. The next one is sharing my negative feelings in an honest way. Sharing your negative feelings in an honest way. Do you not do that, or do you do that? 1 to 6. Sharing feelings in a negative way to your partner can be very uncomfortable, and it is difficult to not put a twist on it, because you're going to want to put a twist on it for it not to appear too negative, right? And you want to sort of like come out a little bit in a good light. So you might put something there that is not as honest as you think it is. So when they're asking, sharing my negative feelings in an honest way, you really have to remember the honest way. And I'm going to give you an example. So I have maybe some reservation about what my partner wants to buy. My partner wants to buy a car, okay? And I just don't think that this is the time for him to focus on another car. He just got a car maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and he wants to get another car. And again, he has his reasons, but I think the car is fine. And so my negative feelings might come out saying, oh, you know what? I like your car, but I really don't think this is a good time for us to get another car, or for you to get another car, depending on how you want to put that. And a lot of times when you are sharing your negative feelings in an honest way, he might say, so what's the big deal? This is something that I want to do. And then you are now able to get back to him with a great answer, which is, I just don't think that that's a priority right now. That's a great answer, right? And then he can come back and say, well, I think it is a great priority. And then you can say, all right, give me some reasons why you think it's a great priority. And again, you're going back and forth. Now, some people don't like the back and forth. Okay, I agree. I accept. Some men just don't want to have that conversation. It's their car, it's their business, and other men want you to be involved. So again, this is a case by case basis, but you are able to, and that's what the question is, identify whether your ability to address, negative feelings in an honest way is 1, nah, I'm not good at doing it, or 6, I am very good at doing it, or in between. Okay. So again, knowing how to communicate is actually being able to express your negative feelings in an honest way more positively, right? Than negatively. So you should be closer to the 6 than to the 1, right? Sharing things I'm ashamed about. Now, again, another tough one. Are you able to share things you're ashamed about? Then you're going to be putting something like 1, 2. If you're able to share things that you're ashamed about, you're going to be on a higher score of 5, 6. And remember, we add those scores up and we find out where you are. Are you able to share things with your partner that you're ashamed about? And there are a lot of things that we can be ashamed about. Now, the question then would be, do they have to know what I'm ashamed about? Do they need to know what I'm ashamed about? Is it their business? A lot of this question of is it their business really depends on your relationship and how close you are and the type of person you're dating, because some guys, some gals don't want to know. And you've got to sort of decide, are you that sort of person that can be in a relationship where you can't express how you feel about certain things? So you want to know, is this person able to uh, accept the way you talk or not? And the person thinks, it's just TMI, too much information, and you feel like you're being shut out of their life. But a lot of men and women do that. Sharing things I'm ashamed about, they might say, again, TMI. But if you're not able to share things that you're ashamed about, that's not a good thing because it means you're secretive. You're hiding things. And if you hide things in the relationship, your partner will not be able to understand you and not be able to get to know you and treat you the way you want to be treated, which is honestly. Okay? But if you go to the right and you're choosing more of, yes, this is something that I can do in my future relationships, then I would say then you're more confident in yourself and you're able to communicate better because you're not ashamed of sharing things about yourself. Okay? What about sharing the details about my day? Sharing the details about my day, again, some people can and some people can't. Oh, it was all right. Yeah, it was busy, but same old, same old. If you're saying things like that when someone asks how was your day, again, you're not talking much. So you're more on the 1, 2 side. You want to be more on the 4, 5, 6, where you're able to share in details. Oh, this happened. Oh, that happened during the day. And then you can even ask, hey, what do you think about this that happened during the day? Engaging, letting someone know that you had either a rough day or a great day, and sharing by, again, giving information about yourself and your day to your partner, which some people like and some people don't. Depending on the relationship you're in, you might not be telling them anything. And that is not the best relationship because, again, communication is key for you to know each other. Remember, I'm trying to get you an orgasm, right? You can't get an orgasm if you're not able to talk about mundane things, just simple things that happen in your life. You just can't be focusing on the orgasm. You have to think about the relationship as a whole because, as women, we are impacted by the whole 360 degrees relationship. So you want to have a little small talk. And sometimes, again, if you're in a relationship where you're not having small talk, you're going to know it. You might be miserable. And then again, you might not be. You might not even want to do small talk, but you have to make sure that it doesn't disturb you, it doesn't upset you. So the question here of sharing the details about your day can be something that you don't do, but again, that's not healthy for the relationship. You should again do more sharing details about your day, and the person should be willing to listen. Number 5, expressing my sexual needs and desires. Now, that was something we talked about yesterday, too. In this case, she's ranging it from 1 to 6. 1, not very good at doing it, don't usually do it, not planning to do it. Number 6, yes, I want to do it, I always do it. And that's what you want to do. You want to find out where you are between 1 and 6. Expressing my sexual needs and desires. Something that we all need to do. Otherwise, how in the world is the guy or the girl going to know how to please you, how to satisfy you? Now, I got a message from someone that mentioned that even when she tells the guy there is no change in terms of sexual needs and sexual desires being met. And I want to say to her, and I'm going to reply to her, that sometimes you think you're communicating your sexual desires and your needs, but you really are not, because the guys need a little bit more than just a general description of your sexual needs. They need exact, pinpoint descriptions of your sexual needs to the nth degree. I'm like as close as you can get it. You want to describe what you need sexually in the bedroom. And unless you do, you're going to get them sometimes confused about which way to go. And in that way, communication becomes an issue again. So I wanted to say to the young lady that sent me that message, you've got to be specific, which means you've got to know exactly what does the trick, exactly what turns you on before you say, oh, I told him and he didn't hear it. A lot of times they'll hear it and they'll hear it in a different way. So you got to make sure that he heard it your way. Okay. Number 6, openly expressing my physical affection needs. Another thing that we don't really do much about. Do you ever tell your partner how you want him to or her to, show affections towards you? And a lot of that is, again, the love languages. Take a look at those love languages and see which one you prefer. But words of affection, being able to physically show by touching, these are ways of knowing that someone really likes you. Again, some people don't really do that, right? And some people do. So you want to find out which range you are. Openly expressing my physical affection needs. Openly. Do you kiss in public? Now, I know some people don't, and I know some people do. Do you hold hands in public? Some people do, some people don't. So again, on that scale 1 to 6, where are you? Do you openly express, number 7, do you openly express your emotional needs? So do I openly express my emotional needs? Most of us do not. So we're going to be ending on the lower end of number 1, 2, 3. Those that do probably are thought to be a little bit too talkative, right? Or too whiny or too emotional, right? And this is supposed to be for men and women. So, especially men, I don't know many men that express their emotional needs, which I wish they did. And that way we would be on the same page a lot more. But a lot of answers are probably going to be on the lower end, not expressing emotional needs. I really need you to express your emotional needs no matter what, because that way your partner will know again more about you, and your partner will not be confused and not have something in their head one way when you make it clear it's not the right way. This is the way I want my emotional needs to be understood. So again, you need to be choosing on the scale where you are and try and make sure that you're ending up on the right side, which is more 4, 5, 6 in expressing emotional needs. Because again, emotional needs is emotional intelligence, and your emotional needs will again help in the bedroom, get that orgasm, get that big O. Without that emotional need being met, you're not going to connect. You need that chemistry, you need that connection, you need that compatibility. You need all 3 in order to get that great O in the bedroom. Okay. All right. Number 8, hiding my emotions when I am upset with my partner. Do you hide your emotions when you're upset? Yes, you always hide your emotions. Or do you not hide your emotions? So this one would be, do not expect to do this in my future. I do not expect to hide my emotions. It'd be number 1, right? And then on number 6, it would be, yeah, I always hide my emotions when you're with your partner or when you're upset with your partner. Again, walking on eggshells, feeling that you are not able to express yourself, that is not helpful in a relationship. So you definitely want to be able to not hide your emotions when you're upset with your partner. You want to be able to be honest with your partner, tell your partner how you really feel. Okay. Number 9, openly discussing past mistakes I've made with my partner. Openly discussing past mistakes you've had with your partner. Do you do that with your partner? Does he want to hear? Does she want to hear? I know. So you're going to be choosing 6. Yes, I openly discuss them. Or 1, 2, 3. Nah, I don't really openly discuss my mistakes I've made with my partner. So some people are secretive to the core. They're not going to tell mistakes. And other people are like, you know what, boo, I made a mistake. And again, that's more of an open relationship. He's going to feel or she's going to feel that you are involved and that you're not hiding anything and that he can trust you better. So just know it is always better to lean towards openly discussing past mistakes that you've made with your partner. Number 10, when my partner does not understand what I'm saying, finding another way to explain myself so that he or she will understand. Do you not do that or do you do that all the time? So, one is that, you know what, I definitely do not expect to do this in my future relationships. And 6, you do in your future relationships or in your current relationship. So, that's a good thing to be more on the higher side. All right, withdrawal, disengagement. Number 1, turning my partner out in a fight to show that I'm not interested in what he has to say anymore. Do you turn your partner out in a fight? Right? So you're really not supposed to do that. So you're not supposed to get him flared up. You're not supposed to incite him. You're not supposed to make him feel more angry to show that you're not interested in what he has to say anymore. Okay? So that is not supposed to happen. Okay? So withdrawal, disengagement. Turning my partner out in a fight to show that I am not interested in what he or she has to say anymore should not happen. Okay? So you want to make sure that you are not doing that. These are withdrawal, disengagement evaluations she's trying to do here in this section of the questionnaire. Staying engaged in a heated discussion even when I feel hurt or angry. Staying engaged even when you feel hurt or angry. Definitely want to do that more in your relationships. Number 3, preventing myself from feeling so angry that I might say things I would regret later. Are you preventing yourself from feeling so saying things that you might regret later? Do you regret sometimes that you didn't say it at that time? Sometimes you really do need to say it, even when you are angry. So it says here, preventing myself from feeling so angry that I might say things I would regret later. Sometimes it's better to say it, even if you're going to regret it later. But if it's something that comes out poorly, you apologize. But a lot of times people are always trying to control their anger and try not to regret it later. So most people that are doing that are pent up, building up all that anger inside. And as time goes by, you're going to explode one day. And then out of character, you're going to do something you might really regret. But a lot of times you feel you're doing that for the better, you're doing it for the better, when the answer is no. Try and get it out at that time in a cool way. Okay? And don't get so angry. Okay? Number 4, withdrawing from conflict temporarily to cool off, but making sure the issue is readdressed after a cool off time. So withdrawing from conflict temporarily to cool off, but making sure the issue is readdressed after a cool off time is pretty good, right? So that's okay. So if you say, you know what, I need to cool off, chill out, take a time out, and you just say, babe, I'm gonna step over here or go get a smoke for those that smoke, even though smoking is not good for you. So that's a good thing to do. So again, if it's something that you're going to do in the relationship, that's going to be more the 6s, right? 4, 5, 6 versus the lower number. Ignoring or shutting my partner out when I'm really, really angry at him or her. Not good, right? Do you do that? If you do, that you got that 6 going. If you don't, then you have that 1, 2 going. That's good. So some of these are going to be 1, 2 are better for you, and some of them 6, 4, 5, 6 are better for you. In a conflict, feeling flooded with negative emotions that seem to come from out of the blue. So you're in this conflict and then suddenly you feel flooded with all these angry, negative emotions. Is that you? Does it happen sometimes or does it not happen sometimes? Happen sometimes or happen sometimes. Okay? Don't want it to happen, right? Disengaging from conflict because I get too angry to stay involved. I disengage, so I walk away, right? Do you do that or you don't? You do 6, you don't 1, 2. Sticking it out in conflict in order to work things through. Now that's a good thing. Sticking it out in conflict in order to work things through. Or do you just give up? So you do stick it out? Do you try and say, hey, I'm sticking it out. I'm going to work this out with you. Or do you just give it up and walk away again? Okay, so if you stick with it, you want to work it out, you're on the 6. If you don't, you're going to be on the lower end. Reaching a point where I just can't communicate anymore in a fight and blowing up at my partner. Now that's losing control, right? Do you lose control? Yes. On the right, not good. On the left, no, better. Walking out on my partner in anger when we are fighting, even though my partner wants to work through the conflict. That's a big no no. Your partner wants to work through this, you do not walk away. If you do, and your answer is yes, you're going to get more than 4, 5, 6. If your answer is no, you're going to get 1, 2, 3. All right, next category. Perspective taking, understanding. How well do you understand? All right, number 1. Being aware of my partner's feelings, whether she or he is happy, upset, angry, or depressed. Do you understand your partner's feelings? Shame to say, a lot of us do not know when they're upset, angry, happy, right? So that would be no, more on the lower end, you really don't understand, versus yes, you do understand. And if you do, kudos to you, okay? You're really supposed to understand your partner's feelings, but it's not easy. It takes practice. It takes knowledge. It takes, intuition and knowing to even ask sometimes to find out, right? And then those nonverbal cues. I'm big into nonverbal cues. Number 2, being attuned to when my partner does not feel like discussing something. Do you know when your partner is really not in the mood? Now, I'm going to be honest here. I am not very good at that. Some people call it the spirit of discernment. I just cannot discern as well as I wish, I could. But some people can. So being attuned to when my partner does not feel like discussing something is important. So it should be more of the yes versus the no. Okay? Appreciating my partner's point of view even when I'm not feeling the same way. Now that is gold. Appreciating your partner's view that you don't even agree with, right? But you appreciate his point of view. I think that is so healthy. So you want more of the yes on that side, more of the 4, 5, 6. Being patient with my partner's flaws. Now, whoa, that is deep. Some people just do not have any patience for your partner's flaws. That is a reflection of whether you love your partner or not, because you see those flaws when you don't or have fallen out of love with your partner. But when you're in love, it's like, oh, those flaws don't mean nothing. It's like, oop, I am just as happy as can be with my partner's flaws, and you're willing to forgive and forget. So remember, you do not want to be upset about your partner's flaws. You want to be very patient with your partner's flaws. Patient partner. Number 5, really listening to my partner when he or she talks to me. Do you really listen? Do you really, really listen? Because sometimes we'll be doing multitasking, doing other things. So I need you to drop that phone, and I need you to turn to him or her and stare in the eyes and let him know that you are listening. Okay? That's more yes, what you want to do in your relationship. Really focusing on what my partner is saying during a conversation. So you got to really focus. Empathizing with my partner when he, she has a bad day at work. Do you give your partner a hug, kiss, hold hands, make their favorite cup of tea or food or a dessert, right? These are things you want to do to show that you are really supporting your partner having a bad day. Okay? Understanding any difficulties my partner has in terms of relating to his or her family of origin. So that's bringing family into this, right? Do you understand his family? You have got to. And that is something huge. You cannot take the man alone. There is a family involved. You've got to get close to the family. I don't care what you have to do. If you got to pretend, I don't care. Go and get close to that family. And remember, as you get closer, he will appreciate that or she will appreciate that. Seeking to understand my partner's way of seeing the world. Do you ever try to see the world through his eyes? That's not easy. I'm going to tell you that's not easy. But it's a good attempt and a good result if you can attempt to do that, right? You'll get some good results from that because more peace, right? So yes, you will want to do that. Soliciting my partner's point of view on different topics. You want to get your partner's, point of view. So definitely want to do more yeses on that. That's more of the 6s, 4, 5, 6s. All right, acting defensive. Blaming my partner when things go wrong. Now you know you're not supposed to do that. You cannot blame. If you're doing that, oh my gosh, I will come after you. Blaming your partner when things go wrong. They're going to feel so bad already that things have gone wrong. You can't nag and you can't go after that person because that person will get so distraught. So do not blame your partner when things go wrong. And I know it's easy to do that because things can go very seriously wrong. But no, you cannot do that. There's got to be some display of love and patience and understanding when things go wrong. Because remember, it can happen to you too. So make sure you're showing an example and you're making sure that he's calm and cool or she's calm and cool when things go wrong. Patience is a virtue, right? Appreciating my own contribution to our problems. Do you know that the problems you have, it takes two to tangle, it takes two to have those problems? Do you know what role you're playing? Make sure you do, because if you don't, you're missing the bigger picture. You really have to see your role. And a lot of people, I just say, put yourself in the person's shoes and look back and see what that person is seeing when you behave the way you behave. Seeing that problems are both our fault. Amazing. That should be a big six. Yes. Seeing that problems are both your fault. Always look at it from both points of view and make sure you think it's an even, if not exactly even, close to even, right? Even keel. Acting defensive when my partner relates a concern with our relationship. Now, you don't want to act defensive. You just want to hear and give your opinion and just say, this is something that I did. I'm sorry. I repeat it back. It won't happen again. And that way you have a clear understanding of what he or she does not like. Okay? Listening calmly and thoughtfully while my partner states concern with our relationship. So when your partner is talking, are you able to sit down calmly and coolly and listen? Very important. Should be a strong yes. Because if they don't see you listening, they will not talk to you at all. They'll just clam up, shut up, and not tell you anything. You've got to listen and not say a word when they're talking. Okay? Those are guys, they'll just stop talking to you. Being willing to admit that I hurt my partner. Are you willing to say, you know what, darn, I said something I shouldn't have said? That's a tough one because a lot of us think that we're saying things that are going to be helpful, and you know, make it a better day. But a lot of times they are hurt. Now, they should tell you when they're hurt, but they don't communicate depending on the guy that you're with or the gal that you're with. So you got to try and really be willing to say you're sorry. That's the bottom line. Okay? All right. Being able to apologize sincerely to my partner for things that I have done to hurt him or her. Same sort of question. Defending myself when my partner has a problem with me before hearing the full extent of his or her concern. So defending yourself. Do you interrupt them and say, oh, no, no, but? Can't do that. If you do, it's going to hurt the relationship. Again, you're not communicating well. But this is my point of view. No, no, no. Let your partner finish and don't defend yourself at the end of the partner's explanation or complaint. Then you can say things. Now, I actually tell people write things down. If your partner wants to talk, get a pen and paper and write down the list of things that he's complaining about or she's complaining about. And then say, are you finished, darling? All right, let me address them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 when the person's finished. Okay? Very good, helpful suggestion there. Assuming a non blaming stance towards relationship problems. Very important. Non blaming. This is not your fault, my fault. This is just something you want to resolve nicely in a very pleasant manner. Okay? Expressing that my partner is usually more at fault when we have problems than I am. You cannot do that. Again, fault blaming, we don't want that. Okay? Just want to be fair, smile, and express yourself and understand and show love always. This is another important category, criticizing your partner. Now, a lot of us do this, whether we know it or not. So we have to be aware. So listen to this, listen up. 1, personally criticizing my partner in the heat of conflict. Whoa. So you're in this argument and you go digging and start saying things about his family and about his mother and about his brother or his best friend or even his job or what he does or how he looks or how he dresses. Personally criticizing your partner in the heat of conflict is a huge fat no. Please don't tell me you're doing that. No, you can't do that. Keeping myself from saying really mean things when I'm hurt or angry. So do you have to control yourself and say, I want to say this, but I'm not going to say it because I'm going to tear them apart if I say it. And, you shouldn't be going through that. You should actually have more love to your partner and less angst with your partner. So if you do, we've got to work on that, right? So keeping myself from saying really mean things when I'm hurt or angry, that's some sort of control with your emotions issues that you might have to address. Again, seeking help is going to be the answer to all these, issues. Getting therapy. All right. Continuing to show respect to him or her even during a bad fight. Very important. So that should be yes, yes, yes. More of the 6, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to continue to show that I respect him despite anything that happens. So showing respect is mutual, and I hope that it's going to go both ways. Refraining from calling my partner names. So I don't know whether people call people names, partners that you're in love with. Now, obviously, we know idiot and stupid is very common, but going worse than that, no, you don't want to do that. And even idiot and stupid is bad enough, and I wouldn't suggest you even saying that. But I know I've heard that. I really have. But it is something you're supposed to refrain from. So the answer would be refrain from calling my partner's name. The answer would be yes. More 4, 5, 6. You do not want to call your partner any names. Raising my voice or screaming critical things at my partner during fighting. I don't scream. I would rather shut down. Okay. And neither's right. You're screaming or shutting down is not right. But raising your voice or screaming during a fight shows lack of control, and your partner can walk out and leave you, abandon you. So don't ever do that. Control yourself. Again, take a break, leave instead of doing that. But if you do that, that's going to hurt the relationship. And that is definitely not a form of communication. Saying things under my breath to others about my partner when I'm mad at him or her. Saying things under your breath. Now, I do not know anyone that does that. And if you do, absolutely cut it out. Not acceptable. Saying things to hurt my partner that I regret later. You do not say things you're going to regret later. And I've heard horrible things, right? Refrain from it, especially if it's something intentional and really deep hurting. But sometimes you say things you don't even realize hurt your partner. Then you have to apologize for that, right? But saying things to hurt my partner that I regret later, you absolutely don't want to do that. Starting fights by accusing or criticizing my partner. And I know people do that, start fights by saying something. Some people actually get off on that, right? Meaning they need to have that to make their life exciting. And that is a big problem. Go see counseling, go seek counseling, and make sure you're getting that taken care of, because that is something that you were brought up with. So stop that. Okay. Refraining from criticizing my partner behind his or her back. You have a hard time doing that. You shouldn't. You should be able to refrain. Allowing fights to get personal. Again, on the same note of saying things that are, very hurtful, involving the family and friends and things that he loves to do. Please do not allow fights to get personal. Rather, don't say anything and don't think anything. Okay. All right, giving affection. I think we're on the last page of giving affection. Giving affection, demonstrating my feelings by showing physical affection. Yes, 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 we want you to do that. Fulfilling my partner's physical need for affection. Yes, 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 you want to fulfill your partner's need for physical affection. Affirming my partner with loving touches. Touch, 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 touch. Very important. That is a way of communicating love and interest. And it's deeper than that. It actually gets you into the foreplay role, right? So very important. Affirming my partner by giving him or her compliments. Very important. All the time. Guys, gals say, oh, you look great today, darling. Both ways, not just one way. Telling my partner about the qualities I like about him or her. Telling my partner about the qualities I like about him or her. Should always do that. Telling my partner that I love her or him. Should always do that too. 4, 5, 6. We don't want to see that you hardly say it, right? But then again, I know there are relationships where they hardly say I love you or hug. Very unfortunate. You have to hug and say I love you. Okay? Showing my partner that I love him or her by doing nice things. Very important. Important for those especially that like to have the love language of gift, right? Or doing um, manual things for people to know that they love them, and that's showing and expressing their love. That's fine. Making it clear that I value my partner. You have to show that you value your partner by telling your partner that you do value them and by acting it, right? Doing things, taking care of things, paying for things, buying things, um, cooking things, cleaning things, all that stuff makes it clear that you do value your partner, right? And sometimes I like people that actually take the initiative and do things before the partner even realizes you were going to do it, right? Like maybe ironing something that he wears, a shirt or something, right? Or preparing some tea or coffee in the morning. Very simple stuff, but so meaningful. So meaningful. Um, Making it clear that I value my partner, actively thinking of ways to make my partner feel special. So you want to do things that keep the romance alive, keeping the romance alive by finding new ways to continually court my partner. So you want to keep the romance alive by, surprises, um, taking your partner out somewhere on a date night, you paying the bill, footing the bill for once, right? Instead of him doing the bill all the time. Um, just planning even a quiet dinner, cooking a meal for him, um, inviting a special friend that he hasn't seen forever over, or just doing things that someone would appreciate. Now I know when it comes to sex, there are other ways you can show appreciation in the bedroom. Um, but honestly, it doesn't matter. All of them will work. Trust me, they'll all work. Alrighty, avoiding conflict. We've got two more sections and we're done. Avoiding conflict, brushing problems under the rug because I don't want to fight. So avoiding conflict. Are you a conflict avoider? Do you have an avoidant type of attachment, right? You're an avoider, okay? So you don't want to talk about it. Definitely don't want to be that. Very important to talk about it. Avoiding fights at all costs. I don't think you can avoid fights at all costs. You're going to have some disagreements that are healthy. Being able to have a fight with my partner without feeling like it will end and the relationship will be over. Now that's a scary one. Some people don't want to fight because they're scared that they'll break up. And if you break up, so be it, because you have to make your point of view clear. Drinking alcohol or use drugs to avoid feeling badly should be a big no. Actively denying that my partner and I have a problem to work out when I really know that we do. That doesn't make any sense. If you have a problem, you have a problem. Black and white, no gray in this. You have a problem or you don't. Make sure you clear that up and make sure you are honest about that and talk about it with your partner. Remaining distant from my partner in order to avoid conflict. Doesn't make any sense either, right? So you definitely don't want to do that. Ignoring my partner when he relates a concern with the relationship. You cannot ignore the concern, right? Can't do that. Going to bed angry to avoid telling my partner what I'm angry about. That is so unhealthy. You're going to bed angry because you don't want to tell your partner what you're angry about. That is going to get into your body and cause high blood pressure and diabetes and all sorts of crazy things going on. So you don't want to do that. Get it off your chest. Have that conversation. Say, darling, can I talk to you for a minute? Now, some of them don't want to talk. So if he says no, say, okay, when can we talk? And find another time to talk, okay? Changing the topic when my partner says we need to talk about difficult things. Can't change the topic, gotta talk, okay? Initiating relationship related problem solving discussions with my partner. So, initiating a relationship related problem solving discussion with my partner is awesome, right? You want to start, baby, let's talk about this problem that we have and a solution to it. Nice way of starting a conversation. All right, last category, escalating conflict. And I hope we don't do this. Inciting my partner to get more and more angry in a fight. You do not want that. Screaming critical things at my partner during fighting. Don't tell me to do that. Immediately responding negatively when my partner says something negative. So if the person said something negative, you come back with something negative. Can't do that. Cannot communicate back. I know you're going to say, why? Because you're just allowing it to fester, allowing it to get worse, and it's like a positive reinforcement where you just get worse, and then it gets out of control, and then it might even become physical. So no, you do not scream anything negative. Accepting influence from my partner. So accepting influence from my partner is a good thing, because when your partner suggests something and you say, okay, I'll consider doing it, they get so happy and they feel elated and they feel, oh my gosh, she respects me, right? Or he respects me. So it's very important to accept influence. Let your partner influence you. Let them make you take off that outfit if he doesn't like it. Take it off. Now, depending on where you're going, I mean, it's not like an everyday thing. He's telling you to take it off, but sometimes he might suggest, "Hey, baby, which one do I wear? This or this?" Right? And you get some influence there, right? And the last one, admitting when I am wrong and my partner is right. Admitting when I'm wrong and my partner is right. Can you do that? I can do that very easily. Why? Because I am very cerebral and I really like to learn. So for me, when my partner corrects me and I learn something, for me, it's joy. It's like, wow, thank you. So I will definitely admit that I'm wrong and that my partner is right. And I hope you do too. Now, this again is for future relationships or current relationships that you're in. So if you would like a copy of this, let me know. That was, there's one more page. All right, real quick, one more page. Acting on my partner's suggestions. So again, the same sort of thing. If he suggests something, go for it. Refusing to take my partner's suggestions, even though they were wise, just to spite him or her or show my independence. Wrong answer. You do not refuse to take your partner's advice, especially if it's wise. Starting fights by accusing or criticizing my partner. Do not start fights, y'all. Presenting my arguments in a cool and calm manner. Perfect. Refraining from acting contemptuous towards my partner. You definitely don't want to act like you can hardly even stand the sight of him by looking up and down and giving the eye. No, do not do that. They can sense it. You don't have to say a word. Act very, very, very disrespectful. Very, very poor taste. De-escalating, repairing conflict. Now, this is the last section and then we're done. Staying focused on the issues that are at hand in a fight rather than letting it get personal. So you want to stay on the issue, don't get it personal. Being able to shift my own mood for the better in a fight. So when you're in a fight, can you shift your mood into a better mood, right? Try to do that. Being able to change my partner's mood for the better in a fight. Can you change your partner's mood by making it lighter, right? Say, hey, let's give a kiss, I'm sorry, and make it a lighter fight. Identifying things we agree on during fighting, right? So that's a good thing to do. Identifying things we agree on during fighting. So there are some things you disagree on, but what do you agree on? I know that's a good thing to do, right? So just say, baby, you know what? We agree on this. We might not agree on this, but let's agree on this and let's call it a day and agree to disagree, right? Looking at meta communication issues, how we are communicating instead of what is being said in the fight in order to calm things down. That's deep, right? How you're communicating instead of what you're communicating. So how you communicate calmly, coolly, crucial. Using humor to calm down a tense conflict. Now, I am not very good at humor, but I do love humor. So always admit, admire, allow humor to come in to lighten the conflict. Even when I'm angry, ask my partner for clarification on what he or she is feeling. Nice. Even when you're angry, ask for clarification. I don't understand what you said. Can you make that clear for me, please? Very important. Withdrawing from conflict temporarily to cool off, but making sure the issue is readdressed after cool off time, very good. Go chill out and then come back to the issue when you're much cooler. Suggesting that we take a break from a conflict so that my partner can calm down. Nice idea. During a conflict, telling my partner that I need to take a break to cool off. Very, very cool, right? Say, darling, do you mind if I just take a second? Just let me go do something. I'll be right back. And he'll pick that up or she'll pick that up and know that you're trying to just calm down and come back in a better mood and finish off that discussion. All right. So this is Rose's Romantic Self-Efficacy Scale by Shauna Springer. If you want it, let me know. I'll send it to you. This is a way of knowing whether you can communicate in your romantic relationships with your partner. The better you do at this, the better the orgasm. The better the roses, the better the orgasm. So let's talk about the orgasm next week, okay? Have a good night. Take care. Bye.